Welcome back to Recon by Fire. For today's match, the Custodes are playing the Shield Host detachment. They are led by Valerian, leading a 4-man squad of Custodian Wardens, 2 Blade Champions, each leading a 5-man squad of Custodian Wardens, Inquisitor Draxus, leading a 4-man squad of Custodian Guard, 2 Alaris Custodians, 2x4 Prosecutors, and 2 Caladius Grav Tanks. Drew is back piloting his Green Tide. He's bringing 2 squads of Tank Bustas and 2 squads of Flashkits, each riding in their own trucks. 2 squads of Storm Boys, a squad of Commandos, a squad of Gretchen, 4x20 squads of Boyz, 1 10-man squad of Boyz, 2 Painboys, 2 Warbosses, and a Weirdboy. We're playing Mission K today, which is Scorched Earth. Mission rule is Stalwarts, and deployment is Search and Destroy. Top of round 1, and the Orks are going first. They will draw Extend Battle Lines and Sabotage as their secondaries for the turn. The Weirdboy will successfully farm an additional CP. Start of the movement phase, and the Flashkits are going to disembark from the truck and move towards the natural expansion. Tank Busters are going to do the same thing and follow suit. Commandos are going to hide behind the building and begin the sabotage action. Blue Squad of Boys will push towards the Custodes deployment zone. Red Squad will advance, but unfortunately not make it onto the center objective. Gretchen will sticky the home objective. 10 Boy Squad will push out towards no man's land. Loaded Truck will reposition to get line of sight on the Caladius. Empty Truck will push towards the center of the field. Weirdboy and company will successfully de-jump, landing them 9 inches away from the Custodes front line. Start of the shooting phase, and the Weirdboy and company will fire into the Wardens, failing to score a single wound. The truck with firing deck 12 is up next and sends everything into the Grav Tank, knocking off 4 wounds. Going into charges, and the Orks are going to spend a command point on Tide of Muscle, giving the Weirdboy and company +1 to charge and a free reroll that allows them to make it into both the Terminators and the Wardens. Bulldozer Brutality allows all the boys to get in on the action, and they manage to bring a Terminator down to a single wound. The rest of the attacks, including the Power Claw, go into the Wardens and pick up 2 of them. Terminators are going to strike back first, selecting sustain hits 1 and crits on 5, scooping up 3 of them. Blade Champion and the Wardens will crack back now, picking up 6 additional boys. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They'll score 5 points for Extend Battle Lines, and Sabotage is ongoing. Bottom of round 1, and the Custodes will draw Containment and Extend Battle Lines as their secondaries for the turn. Draxus attempts her Psychic Veil but fails, and will take the 3 mortals on the 1 guard with 4 wounds. On to the movement phase, and the Wardens are going to push towards the Commandos to interrupt the sabotage. Prosecutors are going to advance forward to attempt to screen out the WOG next turn. Draxus and company will advance towards the truck that's still loaded with Tank Bustas. Grav Tank is going to do a minor reposition to gain line of sight. Start of the shooting phase, and the Grav Tank fires its las cannons into the truck. It succeeds in taking it down. Tank Bustas and Flashkits are going to get out closer to the objective. They only lose a single Git. Draxus and the guard will fire into the Tank Bustas. They activate their once per battle ability to fire a second time and absolutely wipe the squad. Second Grav Tank will fire everything into the blue squad, which ends up being a mistake because it only takes down 2 boys. Orks will then spend a command point to reactive move 5 inches, putting them well within charging distance. It's charge o'clock, and the Blade Wardens make their charge into the Commandos. Let me know in the comments down below if they should have charged the Boy Squad instead. Custodes go with the tried and true sustain hits 1 and crits on 5 and absolutely obliterate the Commando Squad. This will not only stop the sabotage, but thanks to the pile-in, deny primary as well. Ongoing combat is up next, and the Wardens will pop their once per game 4+ Feel No Pain. Half the squad of boys will swing into them, scoring 2 wounds, leaving a Warden at just 1 remaining. The rest of the squad will swing into the Terminators but fail to score a single wound. Both Terminators and Wardens take their turn into the Orks and manage to scoop up the entire squad. That is going to end the turn for the Custodes. They will score 5 points for extending battle lines and discard Containment for a command point. Before we see the green tide flow over the horizon, this would be a fantastic time for you to hit that subscribe button and like button so we know to put more content like this out there. Top of round 2, the Orks have Sabotage from last turn and draw Cleanse as their secondaries for the turn. They will call the Wog. They control 2 points and will score 10 points on primary. Gretchen will successfully farm a command point. Start of the movement phase, and the Gretchen will spread out to screen out the backfield. Flash Kits are going to move out onto the objective and begin the sabotage action. Tank Bustas will advance to move towards the center of the field. Truck will zoom across the board, getting line of sight on the grab tank. Squad of 10 boys will advance towards the center objective. Blue squad is going to Congo line to potentially set up the triple charge. Red squad is going to go after the wardens that just took down their brethren. Third squad of boys will arrive out of strategic reserves. Valerian and company are going to rapid ingress near the Orcs' natural expansion. Flash Kits will pop their ammo run and fire into the wardens on the objective, scoring 2 wounds. Boys that teleported in are going to shoot at the same squad, failing to score a wound. Truck opens fire on the grav tank, but no joy. It's charge o'clock, and the Flash Kits will make their charge into the wardens on the objective. Boys that just teleported in fail the charge. Blue squad will make its triple charge into the grav tank, the guards, and the prosecutors. Orks are going to spend a command point for tie to muscle on the red boys, and they will make their dual charge into the Terminators and the Wardens. Start of the fight phase, and both Warden squads will pop their once per game Living Fortress. Custodes have the 2 CP to interrupt, so Orks are going to start with the triple charge. 5 boys swing into the prosecutors and easily clean them up. Another 6 will strike into the guard, taking down the wounded one and striking a wound off the next one. The Warboss and the remaining boys all go into the Custodes that prove enough to take it down. It does explode though, dealing 3 mortals to the boys, 1 to the guard, and 1 to the prosecutors nearby. Custodes are going to spend 2 CP to interrupt with the wardens not on the objective. Blade Champion is going to use its precision profile into the Warboss, but unfortunately the Feel No Pains come through and it survives at a single wound. The wardens will swing in and pick up 6 of the boys. Red squad will clap back, sending half the boys into the Terminators, picking up the wounded one. The other half swing into the wardens, picking up a dude and wounding another. The surviving Aloris will fight back, picking up 2 boys. Flash Kits will swing into the Custodian Wardens. They manage to pick up 2 of them and leave another wounded. Wardens will clap back and manage to pick up the entire squad. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They will score 2 points on establishing Locus, and sabotage is ongoing. Bottom of round 2 for the Custodes, they will draw Cleanse and call the Horde as their secondaries for the turn. They control 2 objectives and will score 10 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, and the Wardens are going to hide in the ruins. Wardens engaged with the red squad are going to fall back. The Custodes will spend a command point, so they are still eligible to charge. Grav Tank will inch forward to get some distance away from the home objective. Draxus and the guard are going to fall back to screen out the home objective. Valerian and company are going to move in on the Flash Kits. And lastly, the Aloris will fall back. It's going to be a short shooting phase, so you have plenty of time to go smash that like button for us. Grav Tank is going to fire into the truck and takes it down. Going into charges, Valerian squad make the charge into the Flash Kits, but unfortunately roll very high and everyone has to base, so they are unable to set up a consolidation into the Tank Bustas. The Wardens that fell back make their charge into the Storm Boys. They will stick to the left as far as possible to avoid being charged by the nearby boys. No longer being in combat, Orks are going to spend their command point to heroically intervene with the Blue Squad, getting 4 boys in combat. Squad in the center is going to start us off, and they will split their attacks with the Blade Champion going into the Storm Boys, and it single-handedly picks up the entire squad. 2 Wardens go into the boys and pick up 4 of them. Boys crack back, knocking 2 wounds off of a Warden. Valerian and company are up next and make short work of the Flash Kits. This will deny sabotage yet again. That is going to end the turn for the Custodes. They will score 2 points on Cleanse and discard Call the Horde for a command point. Top of round 3 for the Orks, they have sabotage from last turn and draw no prisoners as their secondaries for the turn. They control 1 objective and will score 5 points on primary. Grot Orderly will bring back 1 boy to the blue squad. Grot Orderly brings back 3 boys to the red squad. Gretchen successfully farm a command point. Start of the movement phase, and the Tank Bustas will get line of sight on the Wardens. Lone squad of boys will move on to the center objective. Yellow squad of boys will move in to threaten the Wardens. Red squad will spread out to be near both the Terminator and the Caladius. Second squad of Storm Boys will arrive out of Deep Strike, threatening Valyrian. Gretchen will advance towards the center of the field. End of the movement phase, and the tank busters will throw their bomb squid into the wardens, scoring a single mortal. Start of the shooting phase, and Valyrian squad will pop their living fortress. Blue squad will fire their sluggas into the wardens on the center objective, taking down the one with a single wound. Yellow squad will fire into the wardens, but their armor holds fast and they fail to take a wound. Tank busters fire into the wardens, but the -1 to wound and the 4-up feel no pain proves a little too much and they only take a single wound. Red squad will fire into the grav tank to soften it up, but no joy. Going into charges, and the Storm Boys will fail theirs. 10 boy squad will make it into the Blade Champ. Yellow squad will charge the wardens, and they're in. Lastly, the red squad will make their dual charge into the Terminator and the Caladius. The albino boys are going to swing into the wardens on the center objective, managing to take down the final warden and leave the Blade Champion at only 3 wounds remaining. Custodes are going to spend their 2 CP to interrupt here in hopes of keeping the wardens alive. They will swing into the yellow squad, managing to pick up only 9 of them. Boys will crack back, taking down the wounded warden and seizing control of the objective. Orks will spend a command point on competitive streak for the red squad. Half the boys go into the Alaris Terminator, taking him down. The other half swing into the Caladius, scoring 4 wounds. The tank will strike back and somehow takes down 3 boys. Blade Champion into the boys, scoops up 5 of them. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They will score 4 points for no prisoners and discard Sabotage. Bottom of round 3, and the Custodes will draw Overwhelming Force and defend Stronghold as their secondaries for the turn. They control 2 objectives and will score 10 points on primary. Into the movement phase, and the sisters are going to reposition further away from the Orks. Draxus and company are going to move in on the blue squad in hopes of locking them down. Custodes spend a command point to fall back and charge to reset combat on the point. Wardens are going to move in on the tank busters. Wardens will fire into the Storm Boys, taking down 1 of them. Straight into charges, and Valyrian and company will make theirs into the tank busters. Draxus and the guard are going to make their charge into the blue squad, but are going to stay as far to one edge as possible to avoid combat with the entire squad. Blade Champion and the Wardens make their charge back into combat. That squad is going to start first and clean up the entire point. Valyrian and the Wardens swing into the tank busters, and they also pick up the entire squad. Draxus and the guard into the blue squad, picking up only 7 boys. Albino boys into the Blade Warden, and he holds fast, taking only a single wound. He will crack back, slicing and dicing the remainder of the squad. The Warboss will burn a command point on Epic Challenge, sending all of its swings into Draxus, but she manages to spike her saves, making all of them. The rest of the boys will swing their Choppas and manage to pick up the entire squad of guard. Caladius swings into the red boys, taking down 1 of them. They will crack back, scoring 2 wounds on the tank. That is going to end the turn for the Custodes. They will score 5 points for Overwhelming Force, and Defend Stronghold is ongoing. Top of round 4 for the Orks, they will draw Assassination and Overwhelming Force as their secondaries for the turn. They control 1 objective and will score 5 points on primary. Orks will spend a command point to regenerate 5 boys to the red squad, and a heads up play, they will stack them closer to the home objective. Start of the movement phase, and the Storm Boys will advance, flying over Valyrian squad to screen them out from the center. Gretchen are going to rush the center in hopes of taking out the Blade Champion. Boys will fire their pistols into Draxus, taking her down to 3 wounds remaining. It's charge o'clock, and the Gretchen will make their charge into the lone Blade Champion. Start of the fight phase, the Gretchen and the Grunterd are going to swing into the Blade Champion, failing to score a single wound. Ongoing combat, and the Grav Tank will pick up a single boy. Blue squad of boys will absolutely vaporize Draxus, and they will consolidate onto the objective but not have enough OC to steal it from the Wardens. Red squad will give it all they got and bring the Caladius down to just 4 wounds remaining. Thankfully, they are still stuck in combat. Lastly, the Blade Champion will do its sweep profile into the Gretchen, scooping up all but the Runterd. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They'll score 5 points for Assassination and hold on to Overwhelming Force for next turn. Custodes will successfully defend Stronghold for 3 points. Bottom of round 4, and the Custodes will draw Area Denial and recover assets as their secondaries for the turn. They'll spend a command point on Insane Bravery on the Blade Champion to ensure it succeeds its leadership check. They control 2 objectives and will score 10 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, and prosecutors were going to move off the objective to deny overwhelming force, but instead remain in place so the Orks cannot steal it for primary by healing onto the objective. No shooting for the Custodes because of the reactive move, and so we're going to go right into charges, and the Wardens will make their charge into the blue squad. Start of the fight phase, Custodes will spend a command point for extra attacks. The Blade Champion and Wardens will swing into the blue squad, picking up all the boys, leaving only the Painboy and the Warboss standing. They consolidate, managing to only keep the Weirdboy in combat. It will fight back, but fails to score a wound. Ongoing combat, and the Run Turd will score a single wound on the Blade Champion. It will crack back and clean off the objective. Red Squad will spend a command point to reroll wounds and finally takes down the Caladius. It does not explode, but they are able to consolidate onto the objective. That is going to end the turn for the Custodes, and they will start to burn an objective. They will score 5 points for area denial and discard recover assets for a command point. Top of round 5 for the Orks, they have overwhelming force from last turn and draw recover assets. They'll spend a command point to heal the red squad back up to full, which is going to be enough to seize control of the objective. That means they control 2 and will score 10 points on primary. Start of the movement phase, and the red squad will move more boys onto the objective. Warboss is going to move into the enemy deployment zone to recover assets. Storm boys are going to fly towards the center in hopes of taking down the Blade Champ. Start of the shooting phase, and the boys that are in the building are going to attempt to shoot the Sisters of Silence, but fail to take one down. Storm boys will chuck a grenade at the Blade Champ, and the fragmentation takes the big guy down. Time for ongoing combat, and the Wardens will pick up the Painboy and elect not to consolidate. That is going to end the turn for the Orks. They will score 3 points for overwhelming force, with recovering assets and burning the home objective ongoing. Final round for the Custodes, they will draw no prisoners and behind enemy lines. They'll immediately ship it with new orders for sabotage. They successfully burned one objective and will score 5 points at the beginning of the round. Valerian and the Wardens will charge the Storm Boys on the center objective, taking them down. This will score 2 points for no prisoners and deny the recover assets. Blade Champion and the Wardens remaining on the point will burn the objective. That is going to end the game, with the Custodes scoring 10 points for controlling 2 objectives and an additional 5 points for burning another at the end of the game. Orks will also score 10 points for burning the enemy home objective. With paint, that's going to make the final score 69 to 77 in favor of the Custodes. Thank you, Drew, so much for coming out and playing. We really do appreciate you. And if you've made it this far in the video, how about you drop us a like, because that would be mighty kind of you. But until next time, as always, happy gaming.